What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. Listen, this is your review for Power Book 2 Ghost, Season 3, Episode 2. That's a long title, but listen. So I'm going to start this off with an apology, or I shouldn't say an apology, an acknowledgement. If you guys are not catching the reviews that we're doing over on the TSF channel, the link is in my description box. Last week we had a whole debate about who the informant is. I said it was Effie. Me and Miss Honey said it was Effie. Retro and DJ said that it wasn't. And we had a whole debate about it. So I'm here to publicly acknowledge that I was wrong. Okay? The episode starts off with us getting answers to certain questions. Now, let me say this to you guys. And y'all can put this in the comments. I'm either very, very concerned about how fast of a pace this season is moving, or I'm happy about it because I feel like they're getting all the old stuff out the way because they're going to push these new storylines, which if that's what it is, then I'm happy about it. But I feel like we got a lot of answers in this episode. And I feel like a lot happened in this episode. And again, I'm not complaining because I know sometimes people say, oh, it moves too slow. I'm not complaining about the pace. I'm just wondering, are y'all pushing this old stuff out the way because I got a lot of new stuff coming? I don't know. You guys let me know. Put it in the comments, okay? So we see Lauren having a nightmare about what happened. And we find out that I was wrong. Lauren was knocked out. She was in the front of the car. Effie pushed the car into the water, but innocent bystander was walking his dog. He saw the car going in the water, called the EMTs, and they were able to save Lauren's life. Nobody knows that Lauren is alive for the exception of Jenny's boss, and the doctor. And Lauren is getting very restless, right? At the very least, she wants to tell her parents. Now, Jenny is trying to convince her that Tariq is the mastermind and that Tariq is the head honcho in charge, and she's trying to build a case. Lauren is not ready to accept that Tariq had anything to do with it. She knows that Effie and Brayden are involved, but she is not convinced that it's Tariq, and so she was like, listen, I don't have anything. I don't have anything on Tariq. I don't have anything to give you guys other than what you already have, which of course is The Wire, which is the reason why she's in this mess to begin with. But let me tell you something. Lauren going to disappear. I don't know where she's going, how she's going to get out, but Lauren is going to disappear. She is too restless, and she is not happy, and she's going to somehow, some way get away from the people that are watching the house. I don't know. Lauren's is a smart cookie. She's going to get out of there, and that's going to throw a lot of stuff off. I anticipate that happening. All right, so then we see Tariq and them meeting up in the warehouse so they can get this product together. It's Tariq and Effie and Brayden and Kane. Kane and hire some people to put some stuff on the streets. But like, as we said last week, that warehouse is ridiculously full of product. And they could sell it to the whole damn East Coast and probably still have something to spare. And so we see, basically they're all spreading out to do what they need to do. Brayden is trying to convince Tariq to let him sell it down to to his job, to the stock firm or whatever. The stock brokerage firm. Y'all know the title. Anyway. And Tariq is like, you gotta be crazy. Like, you are hot as hell. He said, you gotta understand something. You literally admitted to being a drug dealer in open court, and you got rewarded with a 6-figure salary. I do it. I'm going to jail for the rest of my life. Like, we can't take that hit. We can't take that chance. You're hot right now. No. Brayden is convinced. He's trying to get Effie to convince. Effie was like, you got, like, he right. Like, you hot right now. Like, that's not going to happen. So they give Effie some bricks to sit. She's supposed to go up, go through Ivy League row, she's gonna do her thing. And Effie's acting, now listen, Effie may not be the informant, but Effie's acting very weird. I don't know what's going on with Effie. I don't know what the deal is with her, y'all. I still got my eye on her. I'm not saying she's the informant, because from what we saw, she's not the informant. Even later on in the episode, Jenny actually called Sax her CI. So, I'm not saying she's the informant, but baby, something is up with her. Now, y'all tell me what it is. I don't know. Put it in the comments. But something is up with her, okay? But we did see her sort of double-crossing Tariq, because Tariq was like, Stansfield is too hot right now. We don't need to sell. But when she was, breaking up the bricks and, spreading it out, she did package up a brick for Stansfield. She wrote the name on there. So she's definitely planning on doubling back and somehow, some way selling at Stansfield. We even saw her getting ready to reactivate Course Correct. So I don't know if that's the only thing she's up to, but she's definitely up to something. Tariq is headed down to his internship with Tate. Now we see Tate meeting with the DNC guy, Steven, I believe his name is. And he's telling Tate, listen, your numbers aren't looking good. Like, you need to find your wife. You need to do something. You need to get yourself back in line because this ain't working. Tariq shows up for his first day at the internship, which is also supposed to be a course credit for him. And he shows up, and Tate then gave his job away to light-skinned Keisha. And so, of course, Tariq, who he ain't all that crazy about working for Tate, but he was like, I need the credits for the class because, of course, we know that he's on this fast track to get to his, what's that thing called? His trust fund. Tate gives him an old smiling song and dance like, listen, you too hot right now. Like, I tried to sell the whole angle of rehabilitation and all of that, but honestly, you just too hot. We're not going to be able to make that happen. And he kind of sends Tariq on his merry little way, right? We'll get back to that in a minute. Down to the Tejada house, Monet is still looking at her judge shows. Now listen, as somebody who can appreciate a good old Judge Judy or a Judge Mathis, hell, I'll even do a divorce court. But baby, is that all you've been looking at? Monet, is that the only thing you've been looking at is Judge Faith and Judge Tola? And has that, baby? David shows up with the report from the police, basically telling her what the police know about Zeke's shooting. And she was like, this isn't enough. Like, I need to find out who took my son out. And Davis was like, listen, you had what the police had. Like, they and I think they had like a shell casing, a partial fingerprint. Like, really, there was nothing. And so when they told him, listen, I'm not going to rest until I find out what happened to my son. So you need to get on it. Like, earn your money. Now, mind you, Lorenzo is in the back listening to this. I really need to figure out what turned Lorenzo into such a punk overnight. Like, is it the guilt of knowing that you did this or what? Because last season you was all, high and mighty, and you was putting Monet on the back burner, and it was either my way or the highway, and now all of a sudden Monet back in charge. What did I miss? I'm trying to understand how we got here. How did Monet get back in charge of the girls? I don't understand it. Anyway, so we see Sax meeting up with Jenny, and she tells him that she's trying to build a RICO case, and he was like, what? Like, you don't have enough information for a RICO. Like, there's no way you're going to convince anybody that a 19-year-old is running a major drug operation. And she was like, exactly, that's why I need you. That is why you are supposed to be getting me the information that I have required of you, okay? She's still treating him like, you know what, but she tells him, I need you to step it up. Like, I really need you to step it up. I need you to get this whole thing in gear, because at the end of the day, you already not getting no nookie. You really not going to get no nookie if you can't find a way to connect Davis to the dirty stuff, to get some dirt on Tariq. Like, I need you to connect the dots. I need you to connect the dots for me. And of course, Sax is like, well, I'll try. Don't worry about it. I'm going to try. Now, down to the firm, we see Brayden. We see one of the interns that ends up talking to the assistant, his uncle's assistant. Well, I don't know if she's an assistant or VP or whatever she is, child. But he, makes some racist comments to her or whatever. And of course, Brayden he coming in like Captain Saberho, and he coming in. So he, he came to her rescue, and he was like, you want to go to HR, I'll be a witness that he said it. And she was like, him? Like, no, like, that they come a dime a dozen. Like, his racist ass, that's what happens around here. I just, it is what it is. So then Brayden ends up setting the boy up, right? He ends up setting old boy up. He puts bunch of stuff on his computer, puts some stuff in his drawer to make it look like he's a racist, make it look like he, part of the whole, like, Proud Boy situation. So her way of thanking him is to take him down to an empty floor and, give him a little something. Now, I don't know if she genuinely is turned on by that, or if it's a bigger picture here. I don't know. When it comes to Brayden, I just can't trust it, okay? Because, I just can't trust it, child. Brayden ain't smart enough to see the forest for the trees sometimes. I hate to say it, but that just is what it is. Um, so then we get down to Stansfield, right? Tariq shows up for class, and it's greed versus need is the conversation. Y'all know how they always, build up these conversations, greed versus need kind of thing. And they're talking about, basically capitalism the American way. Like, the more you have, the more you need. The more money you make, the more things you need. Like, that kind of thing. It was an interesting conversation. You know how they do the banter. But what's interesting is Diana is talking about how expensive the books are. And, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to afford these books. And I'm like, this is what we not going to do. We not going to play in my face. We're not going to play in my face about this whole Diana is so poor. Girl, you not poor. Like, you got money. The money that y'all have in petty cash lying around the house is enough to pay for your books for college. Like, don't do that. And I understand your daddy made it seem like, oh, we're struggling and, you got to pick up the slack. Whatever. And just like so Effie tells her, well, the TA, sometimes I heard the TA, sometimes they have extra books that maybe you could use. So, of course, Diana goes to the TA, and he was like, yeah, I can hook you up. No problem. I got the books. Because remember, we got an eye on the TA, too. But the TA looks at her, and he's like, but explain to me how you carried a Balenciaga book bag, but you don't have the money to buy the books. And she still didn't explain that. She was like, oh, well, my parents are paying the tuition, and they're kind of struggling with paying the tuition, so I got to, figure it out for my books. That still don't explain why you got probably at least a $1,500 book bag. Your books don't cost that. Well, I mean, they might, because books are expensive. But, girl, like, we're not playing. Like, you're not going to play in my face. You're not going to play in my face. Like, y'all should have came up with a different storyline for whatever it is y'all doing with this TA. I don't know if it's just a romantic storyline, but when it comes to power, it is always more to it. It's always something underneath the obvious. So, I don't know what the real deal is, but we got our eye on that, because I think that's stupid. So then we see Kane with Lorenzo, and Kane is trying to tell Lorenzo, look, Drew, he MIA, he's still hanging out with with his boyfriend. You thought you deaded it, but you didn't. He not ready. I told you I'm ready. And Lorenzo told Kane, like, listen, you thought you was good with me, but you not. Like, you still not good with me. We still not on the same page, sir. Like, you need to go out and find out who took care of Zeke. You find out who took care of Zeke, then maybe we can be back on the same page. And in my mind, I'm thinking, that's stupid. Maybe you could have put Diana in charge. Maybe you could have put Drew in charge. But you had to know that Kane was going to figure out who killed Zeke. Sir, did you... I can't... What? Moving on. Now, Drew's with his boyfriend. His boyfriend got drafted. He getting ready to go to Oklahoma City. He's getting ready to move and stuff. He's having his going away party. He said, I want you there, Drew, but you can't be there as my boyfriend, but I do want you there as my friend. Nobody needs to know what's going on. I can't go public. I still got to keep this under wraps. I'm in the NBA, but I ain't in the NBA. Like, and of course, Drew was upset by it. He was like, you know how much heat I'm getting from my family? And old boy was like, I don't really care how much heat you getting from your family. I'm just telling you, like, why do we need labels? Why is that important? You know what it is. I know what it is. And for real, I'm about to move. And that's probably going to be the end of that anyway. I mean, he did invite Drew to come visit him, but he don't mean it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might mean it, but he don't really mean it, right? Now, down to the Tejada house. Monet still sitting on the damn couch watching TV. And old girl comes through. The wife of the dude, uncle that disappeared back at the beginning of season 1. She came through and bought some food. She really was coming through to let Monet know that there's a police detective that's been asking a bunch of questions. And, I just want to let you know what it is. And then she also came to give Monet that money back that Monet tried to give. Well, Monet did give her. She tried to get the money back. Monet wouldn't take it. I mean, she put it on the table, though, because she was like, yeah, you ain't going to owe me nothing. Because I know what it was. It was blood money because I know you took care of my husband. Like, I know you did. I can't prove it, but I know how the game goes. I know he left to come meet with you and he never come back home, so I know what that means. So here go your little blood money. Like, when I took it, I needed it. But she said to her sons, they got a little piece of the property, down on the east side. They probably slinging and banging down there. And she said they taking care of me real good. So, Monet was like, yeah, all right, whatever. But when she told her about the police detective, of course, that piqued Monet's interest. Like, thanks for letting me know. I don't know what to tell you. Now back down to Stansfield, we see Tariq, Effie, and Brayden trying to brainstorm on the fact that Tariq lost his internship and what is he going to do to make up the gap. Of course, Brayden is like, Tariq, you could come work for me. Come work at my dad's place. Like, I'm telling you, we just lost an intern. Convenient, right? He was like, I'm telling you, I can get you in. And Tariq was like, well, first of all, what about your dad? And second of all, we not gonna sell nothing at that. Like, it's too hot. Like, we're not gonna do it. Brayden was like, yo, Tariq, I promise you, we're good. We're not gonna sell nothing down there. I'm good. I'm got it. I'm good. But just come down. Like, just come on down. And so, of course, Tariq, because he really don't have no choice, because he got to make up the slack, because, again, he's trying to get to his trust fund, so we think. And ultimately, he convinces Tariq to come down there, right? Of course, once he shows up with Tariq, his dad is throwing a fit, brother is throwing a fit, but the uncle was like, I think this is a good idea. And we literally just fired it in, because he was like, he's like, and your thought process is really racist. Like, Brayden is the person who admitted to being a drug dealer, yet you mad at the black kid. Like, that ain't a good look. And we literally just fired somebody for being racist. So, like, it's probably not a good idea for us to not hire him because we're racist. Stupid, but it worked. Tariq is in. Now, what Brayden did was, remember his brother and his crew that get high all day, every day, they just be doing coke like it's legal. He sent Tariq into the boardroom to set up for the meeting, knowing that they were going to be in there getting high. So once Tariq saw how these boys was getting high and how much and how often and how they were just so open about it, it started switching Tariq's mindset a little bit on whether or not he was cool with them selling the drugs, right? It changed his mind a little bit. And of course, that's what Brayden wanted all along, because come to find out, at the end of the episode, Brayden is paying off Tate. Brayden paid Tate to fire Tariq and to hire light-skinned Keisha so he could manipulate Tariq into coming down to the brokerage firm to begin with. I said, okay, Brayden, I see you. Now, Brayden is also feeling very guilty. He went to Effie and was like, we really need to tell Tariq what happened. And Effie was like, boy, you crazy. We taking that to our grave. Like, And only 3 people know what happened that night. Me, you, and her. And of course, they think her is dead. And she was like, we're not telling Tariq. Absolutely not. Like, you going to hold on to that. One way or another, you going to hold on to that, okay? Now, while all of this is going on, Kane is doing what his daddy asked him to do, right? Kane is trying to find out what happened to Zeke. So he finds the pilot. He finds, I don't know, somebody else who was down there, security, bodyguard, somebody. And, of course, he is torturing them until they admit to something. So the pilot admits to, after being tortured, the pilot admits to seeing a guy, a bald guy with a big hoodie, a black hoodie with a big zipper. And then the other guy, the security or whatever, he admits to seeing a car with a broken tail light, right? Right? So Kane was like, okay, cool. Now I'm sure Kane killed them, Now back down real quick before we go back down to the brokerage firm, Tariq and Brayden figure out how the people at the firm are getting their supply. They're getting their supply from the trainer. He comes through like he's the trainer, like he's really working people out. And he is actual trainer, but he's also their supplier. And so Brayden is like, we got to eliminate him. And if we can eliminate him, then we'll take over his business. And we in there. So we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to how that happens. Now, while all of this is going on, child, back down to Stansfield, Diana, not only does she get the books from the TA, but he also says, look, I can hook you up with a little student, a little student job. As long as you're not, too scared to get your hands dirty, rich girl. And she was like, nah, I'm not scared of working hard. So he hooked her up with a job at like the little student commissary or whatever. And who does she see coming through there holding hands? Or not really holding hands, but booed up Tariq and Effie. And Tariq was like, you sure you okay with people seeing you as my girlfriend? And she was like, well, ain't nobody down here paying attention. They don't see Effie because Effie see it. they don't see Diana because she sees them before they see her, so she kind of hides in the back, but she peeps it. She definitely peeps it, okay? Now, Monet is out. She finally done left that couch. Probably went out to go and get some more chips and stuff for the... I don't know what she went to go get, but she is finally out and about. And who pulls her over? The cop. And he, you know, tells her, listen, Zeke came to see me, so I know you had something to do with Carrie's death, and it's just a matter of time before I connect the dots. I just want you to know. Here go Mary. Zeke came to see you. I said, girl, don't be giving it away. You done gave yourself away now because you worried about Zeke. So that let him know that he kind of on to something. He was like, yup, Zeke came to see me. So as soon as the cop pulls off, who does she do? What does she do? She calls Davis. Tells Davis, this cop is harassing me. What's good? What ends up happening? Davis tells Saxe, what's up with this cop? Go find out what he's doing. Why is he bothering Monet Tejada? Now, here's what I don't understand. That clearly shows that there's a connection between Monet Tejada and Davis. So I'm not understanding. Later on in the episode, we see Saxe going through Davis's desk, and he finds the burner phone, and he sees that it's Monet Tejada, and all of a sudden, it's an issue. It's like, oh my gosh, I found something. You know they're communicating. Now, I mean, maybe you trying to make a connection between why is it on the burner phone, but you clearly know that they're communicating. Anyway, Saxe calls Jenny. Jenny's with Blanca, so it goes all the way back around, and Jenny ends up bringing the detective in to be like, listen, I told you to stand down. Like, why are you still out here harassing people? And he was like, because Blanca's bosses told her the RICO is a no-go. Because, of course, just like Saxe said, how you going to convince people that this 19-year-old is running this major drug operation? Like, you can't convince them that they're going to do it. Well, while that is happening, the detective comes in and lets them know, listen, y'all looking at this all wrong. Like, y'all are looking at it from the point of view that Tariq is running things. And he was like, Tariq might be at the top of the pyramid, but he ain't up there by himself. He said Monet Tejada is really who's in charge. And all y'all got to do is link them together, and there's your RICO. And, of course, now they're like, well, damn, you know, we can appreciate the fact that you didn't listen to what we told you to do. Thank you very much. Because now they can convince the bosses to follow Monet, but for it to be a 19-year-old, and my thing is, Tariq is only 19. He's not even 21 yet. Child. Moving on, which takes me back. I'm not even going to do this with y'all. So anyway, I'm not even going to get into the timeline. I'm going to just leave this right down. Now, while this is going on, Drew is on his way to the going-away party for his boyfriend, right? He decided he was going to go. Now, he ends up getting jumped by this dude who was like, I'm here to get, you know, I'm from GTG, and I'm here to get revenge for my boy, you know, the dude that Drew took out last season. But I knew then it was a setup. Let me tell you why I knew it was a setup. I knew it was a setup, number one, because nobody knew what Drew did except for the people who was involved in what Drew did. That's number one. And ain't none of them saying nothing. And number two, he didn't kill Drew. If you was really there to get retribution on your leader that was taken out, you'd have took Drew out, an eye for an eye. Like, he gonna spray paint GTG on his back. Sir, that is not how this works. So of course, Drew goes back to the house. He's all beat up and embarrassed and all of that. And Monet is like, listen, y'all need to go find out who did it. Y'all need to go find out who did it, right? Kane's sitting there like, told y'all he wasn't ready. Look at this. Look how easy it was for them to roll up on him. He ain't ready. He was like, but how did he know that we took out, what's the boy name? Y'all know the boy name. How did he know we took him out? And Kane ain't stupid. Now, Kane is a lot of things, but he ain't stupid. Now, sometimes he dumb, but he is not stupid. So Drew tries to go to his boyfriend and tell his boyfriend what happened. His boyfriend was like, I really don't care. It's over. It's a wrap. But my thing is, Drew, don't worry about it. He was ending it anyway, boo. That was y'all. That wasn't just his going away party. That was y'all going away party. Because he clearly saw Drew's face and didn't care. He was like, oh, so you got jumped. Because Drew was like, look at my face. Like, don't you see I got jumped? I got jumped. He was like, oh, you got jumped just like that night at the club. Like, I don't want to have nothing to do with this. Like, it's too messy. It's too much. I'm on my way to the NBA. It's been real. Drew pissed. He gets a text from Tariq saying, listen, we can't find Kane. We need you on it. I'm like, on what? Well, they took out the drug dealer, right? The guy who was the trainer who was supplying down to the brokerage, right? Drew ends up pushing him in front of a truck. I guess Kane was supposed to be the one to take him out, but Kane was off the grid. We're about to find out why Kane was off the grid in a minute. But Kane was off the grid, so Drew took care of it. I was like, See, whenever Drew get mad, then he always ready to kill somebody when he get mad. But you just gotta get him mad first, okay? You gotta get him there, and then he be ready to take people out. So while all of this is going on, Kane done rolled up on the little GTG boys. He done found the guy, the fake dude who beat up and got his revenge for Drew. And of course he takes him to Monet. They're questioning him, and while he's there, Drew they find Zeke's ring, right? His championship ring in the dude's pocket, right? They take the dude to Monet, and they're questioning him, and he says that he got paid to beat Drew up. He's like, I got paid to do it, right? And of course he's scared for his life, whatever. Monet ends up killing him. Well, while they're cleaning up the body, Monet was like, what y'all doing? Clean this up, to Lorenzo and Kane. So while they're cleaning up the body, Kane notices that the tail light is out. And I feel like that was like the last piece of the puzzle he needed. Because I feel like he already kind of had figured it all out. But that was like the final straw. And he let Lorenzo know. He said, listen. He said, you took Zeke out. He was like, what you talking about? He said, don't play with me. He said, you supposedly have been looking for Zeke's killer for weeks. And all of a sudden, I'm on it for 2 days. I don't have no problem finding his pilot. I don't have no problem finding the security guy. And they told me that it was a dude, a bald dude, in a black hoodie with a big zipper, which of course Lorenzo had on at the time, driving away in a car with a busted tail light. Hello, busted tail light. He said, and dude, before Monet took old dude out, he said he got hired to beat Drew up. He said, as far as his ring is concerned, Zeke never wore this ring. So he wouldn't have had Zeke's ring on him if he was the one, because they were trying to say that he was the one that took Zeke out. Which of course that's why Monet took him out. Monet thinking that he took care of the person who took care of Zeke. But Kane is letting Daddy know, listen, not only is he not the one, I know that you are the one. And with that being said, you're now my bitch. And if I tell you I need you to move some product, you're going to move some product. And he proceeds to give Lorenzo a duffel bag and basically puts him on the street. Like, handle it. I said, damn, he done turned his daddy into his bitch. Last but not least, we see where Tariq and Braden, they done, set up their system at the gym to replace the trainer that, met his untimely death in front of that truck. And so they're putting their system in place to move their product down to the Wall Street. And that is pretty much what happened in this episode. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.